Oshiomole visits Shettima and speaks on Imo election and says ongoing strike is not on issues. Welcome to the news and thank you for tuning in to listen. Please subscribe to our channel. Oshiomole visits Shettima. The former governor of Edo State and ex-president of Nigerian Labour Congress on Tuesday paid a visit to Vice President Kashim Shettima. Addressing journalists at the State House, he said he was there along with others to congratulate the Vice President following the successes in the off-cycle election in Kogi, Imo, and Bayelsa states. Speaking specifically on the Imo situation, Senator Oshiomole said Hope Uzodima's victory shows that democracy cannot be arrested by urban elites. He said, and I quote, "We are party members and these two gentlemen were members of the National Working Committee. He was a national treasurer, Adamu founder, and the other, Ahmed Adamu Wambai, was national vice chairman, and I was chairman, and we have had a robust relationship with His Excellency, the Vice President. So first, we have to congratulate him. Since the President is not here, through him, the President, for the victory we recorded in the elections in Bayelsa, Imo, and Kogi. And basically to greet him and take advantage of our privileged relationship to have a handshake with the Vice President. On off-cycle elections, he said, particularly for Imo State, there have been a lot of forces working to undermine security in Imo State. And they have resorted to measures that add tension in Imo State, and some people even want to plunge the state into darkness, believing that when it is dark, the people cannot vote. But I think for me, my takeaway from the Imo election is that these forgotten majority of people who are voiceless, who cannot even access you, but they have the power of the ballot. That is not what sponsored commentators say on television or sponsored writers write in newspapers that will inform their judgment. Their judgment will be formed by what they have seen the governor doing and those aspects of what the governor is doing that touch them. For example, when the governor constructed a road to the village, a village that was not accessible before, and you tell those villagers that the governor is bad, they say he may be bad for you, but he is good for me. When I saw the governor commissioning a very modern hospital in a remote area, and you go on television to say that Governor Hope is a bad man, they will say he's bad to you, but he gave us a hospital. We are going to give him our votes. For me, that is the beauty of democracy. And it also put on notice commentators that they shouldn't sit in the comfort of state capitals and comment almost with managerial confidence about the goings-on in the state when they have never even visited the state. And the worst mistake you can make is to rely on sampling people in Abuja whom we call Ward 17. They do not exist in the state, but they are very vocal. They're the ones you'll be finding being hosted by TV hosts. But those voiceless guys, they're potent. They're actually the ones that vote. While the commentators asking whether people have started fighting, I think that what has happened in Imo shows that this democracy cannot be arrested by urban elite. On that also strike, Oshiomole said, and I quote, "As a worker in the Senate, I don't pretend over the fact that my first constituency, my permanent constituency is Labour. I can be removed as chairman of the APC as I was removed. But I could not have been removed as a Liberal. I remain Labour in heart and Labour in views, and Labour in my aspirations. I would expect that even as we speak now, that the issues that will appeal to me will be the fact that as we speak, we have states that are not paying 30,000 naira, and those states are not being mobilized to go on strike. The federal government had granted 35,000 increase, and those discussions were supposed to be for on behalf of not only the federal government, but on behalf of all workers in Nigeria, including those employed by local government and state government. And the additional revenue accruing from the withdrawal of subsidy trickles down to the state and down to the local government. Now, I would have wished that somebody in the NLC recognized that the hunger in the stomach of a federal employee is not any worse than the hunger in the stomach of those state employees or local government employees. If these are the issues on the table, even as a senator, I will publicly support an action against any government that thinks that we should lament away our hunger and while the people do what they do. Unfortunately, this strike is not about these issues, And I think we have to be careful not to mix our political opinion with our responsibilities because the issues confronting workers are so many that they should become the priority. Labour cannot be apolitical because politics is about the people. And I have argued that when I was in NLC, that nobody has a right to be partisan, much more than those who turn the wheel of our industrial progress. But in saying that, we must recognize that however hard they try, when it comes to politics, people are going to have different reasons for supporting different candidates. You have to be careful not to be seen to be doing the bidding of a particular candidate or a particular political party. As president of the NLC, I made no friend with any politicians in Edo State. So Ogunmudia once asked me, we want to be able to say, leave this matter to me. It's my boy. I will call him. I am not anybody's boy. I want to make my decisions. I take responsibility for those decisions. You cannot find me in the house of a politician, not because I hate them, but because they represent the value that I represent. I represent those guys who can only vote, even though the law allowed that to be voted for. Unfortunately, the system hardly throws them up. So I have to prioritize what is it that I'm ready to die for and what is it that I'm ready to accommodate. But let me be clear, I do not support the brutalization of any Nigerian. I emphasize any Nigerian, including the journalists, including the unemployed, of course, including labor leader. But I'm saying in terms of what you might call the hierarchy of needs and challenges that we face, I think that NLC should robustly engage all state governors or the state government who are not implementing the agreement that has midwifed courtesy of a national strike, not a federal government employee strike. So if you mobilize private sector workers, state employees workers, local government workers, and now there's an agreement on 35,000 increase across the board, I want to see NLC saying that there will be no sleep in any states where this is not being implemented. That is what I can see. Well, my dear, 35,000 naira implemented, to me, it does absolutely nothing. There is nothing you want to tell me. If somebody is earning a 30,000 before, I earned 35,000 before, it is something, but it is almost nothing. Sincerely, it is almost nothing. Almost. What a brilliant submission from the past Labour president, speaking in parable for those that will understand, advising Labour on what to fight for, and for not the issue that he puts in front of Bonham President. Yes, I'm also against them fighting for the dehumanization. No, I'm not saying what the Imo State government did, Imo State government did to him was okay, but I'm saying coming out to make that an issue or a particular theme for a strike is absolutely not the way to go about it. We have other pressing issues. We really have other pressing issues that should be addressed. Alright, on this note, we have come to the end of the news. We say thank you for tuning in to listen. Until I come, maybe next time, enjoy the rest of your day.